Starlink's six most recently, Starlink 6-21 on October 5th. Point of note, the turnaround time between missions 7 and 8 marked the fourth fastest turnaround time for a Falcon booster at just 26 days. Now T-minus 5 minutes, 4 seconds and counting on this particular flight. Coming up in less than 30 seconds, the clamps around the Falcon 9 rocket will open up as the strong back retract sequence is about to begin. You see the strong back retract begin as those clamp arms are opening up. Now less than 4 minutes to lift off. And you can see there's still quite a bit of cloud cover around the launch pads out there, but SpaceX hoping to find enough of an opening that they're able to lift off in about 3.5 minutes from now. Now T-minus 3 minutes and counting. The rocket's autonomous destruct system will be armed shortly. Liquid oxygen topping is wrapping up soon. Coming, and we hear the call out that stage 1 LOX loading is complete. The last big outstanding item is finishing up fueling with the second stage liquid oxygen loading. That'll wrap up about T-minus 1 minute 30 seconds. Just as a point of note, you're seeing a bit of a discrepancy between our countdown clock and the one you see at the bottom of your screen. Reason for that is ours is in real time and SpaceX on a slight delay. Did hear from SpaceX that to hear call out stage 2 LOX loading is complete, and the 45th Weather Squadron says that they're not seeing any limiting weather items, so it seems like while the clouds are still hanging around, they should be able to launch through them, which is good news. T-minus 1 minute 15 seconds, we're approaching the final minute of the count. At the T-minus 1 minute point, the flight computers will take control. Stages 1 and 2 will pressurize for flight. The onboard computer will perform checks to the first stage engine steering system. Now less than a minute to go.
Vehicles in startup. And there we go, Falcon 9.
Coming up in the next several seconds, we should hear the launch director give their go for launch.
Launch director on countdown. Go for launch.
And we heard that go for launch call out. Now less than 30 seconds for liftoff. Now 20 seconds out. 15 seconds. And here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. And liftoff of the Falcon 9 rocket supporting SES O3b mPOWER 5 and 6 satellite mission. Falcon 9 climbing quickly into the clouds. Unfortunately, our Adam Bernstein still able to track it a little bit through the clouds. I know he's doing his best. It's not the most ideal for tracking a rocket launch, but certainly doing his best out there. Now 30 seconds into flight. See on board the Falcon 9 rocket as the vehicle climbs through the clouds. And our Adam's got it back in view. Now T plus 50 seconds into flight. Merlin engines will be throttling down as the vehicle approaches max Q, the point of greatest aerodynamic pressure on the vehicle. You see some views there from a SpaceX tracking camera. Now T plus 1 minute, 24 seconds into flight. You hear the call out for max Q. Now minute 30 seconds into flight. About a minute left on the first stage burn. Heading towards MVAC chill down. And it'll be a little hard to see through the clouds, but we're coming up on main engine cutoff. Now 2 minutes into flight. MECO coming up at T plus 2 minutes, 27 seconds. Now about 5 seconds from main engine cutoff. Of course, we're seeing the SpaceX delayed view, so keep an eye on the count up clock there at the bottom of your screen. That's the time to watch now at this point, with the onboard views. And there you see MECO on your screen. That'll be followed quickly by stage separation, and then second stage start. And you can see the booster falling away from the second stage as the Merlin vacuum engine ignites. Those hypersonic grid fins deploying as the first stage prepares to land on the drone ship out in the Atlantic Ocean. Drone ship a shortfall of gravitas. Now T plus 3 minutes, 25 seconds into flight in real time, 3:17 on the SpaceX views. Next milestone coming up is at T plus 6 minutes, 34 seconds when the first stage entry burn will begin.
Both vehicles are following
You see the
nominal
payload
trajectories.
fairings falling away. Now T plus 4 minutes, 43 seconds and counting in real time. A little over 4.5 minutes on the SpaceX timeline. We're less than 2 minutes away from the start of the entry burn. Burn will last about 23 seconds in total. On the right-hand side of your screen, the MVAC engine in its first of 3 burns for today. This first state, or this first burn, will last until T plus 7 minutes, 51 seconds. The first stage now decreasing in altitude as it prepares for the start of that entry burn. When you'll see that speedometer on the bottom left-hand side of your screen start to drop down much more rapidly. Coming up now, less than 30 seconds till the start of the entry burn. Now T plus 6 minutes, 20 seconds into flight. The first stage entry burn again starting at T plus 6 minutes, 34 seconds. So less than 10 seconds in real time, but visually the time you're looking for.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
We see at the bottom of your screen. Here you see the entry burn beginning. Falcon 9 first stage booster hitting the brakes as it begins to make its way back down towards the drone ship out in the Atlantic, a short fall of gravitas. Next milestone coming up following the end of the entry burn, of course, is at T plus 7 minutes, 51 seconds, when the second stage Merlin vacuum engine will cease firing. SECO 1. Second engine, stage engine cut off, I should say. Now less than 10 seconds until SECO 1. That'll be followed at T plus 8 minutes, 19 seconds for first stage landing burn start. First stage is now transonic, meaning it's traveling below the speed of sound. And there you see SECO on the right-hand side of your screen. Seeing some views from the first stage as it cruises down towards
There we go.
the drone ship. And And there you see the landing bird begin, the drone ship coming into view. Some great daytime views of a drone ship landing. And there you see touchdown of the Falcon 9 first stage booster 1076. This was the 9th launch and landing of this booster. Now T plus 9 minutes, 16 seconds and counting. You see the payload adapter that is blocking the views of the satellites themselves. SpaceX says that is the reason why they are not continuing on with their views and streaming of the telemetry information. So they will be wrapping up views, we believe, shortly. And with that, yes, SpaceX has peeled away from onboard camera views, and so we will provide updates as we learn them as far as the deployment of the 2 satellites for Luxembourg company SES. With a successful liftoff and the mission now in the rearview mirror, let's go back over to the mission stats, let you know where things ended up for SpaceX. Again, this was the 79th launch of this booster, or excuse me, the 9th launch of this booster, tail number B1076. This was the 273rd Falcon 9 launch to date, the 79th Falcon 9 launch of 2023, the 217th Falcon booster reflight, the 83rd SpaceX orbital launch of 2023. This was the 92nd Falcon 9 launch in the last 365 days, the 154th SpaceX orbital launch from Pad 40, the 209th overall launch from Pad 40, and the 63rd orbital launch from Florida in 2023. Taking a broader look at the landscape of launches for SpaceX over the last decade plus. Again, this was their 83rd orbital launch of 2023. You can see just the massive upward trajectory of their number of launches over the years. Of course, potentially a big one coming up, possibly, again, I must stress the word possibly here, at the end of this week with what SpaceX hopes to be the second integrated flight test of their Starship vehicle, with the giant asterisks, or however much salt you want to add to this equation, being that the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service has not wrapped up their assessment of the water deluge system that was added in order to protect the orbital launch mount there. You see there at the center of your screen. These views from Starbase brought to us by our friends at Lab Padre. You can see, while it's cloudy here, it's not nearly as dismal a weather outlook as it is there in Boca Chica Beach in South Texas, where the forecast has rain today, rain tomorrow, and looks like quite blustery on Tuesday. So for those of you who have travel plans, hoping to see Starship launch in person, just sure to keep an eye out on the weather, as it may impact your flight or drive plans. Ship 25 destacked from booster 25 or booster 9 yesterday. So while SpaceX is optimistic that they can launch the fully integrated vehicle at the end of this week, prepared to bring you live launch coverage alongside Lab Padre coming up later this week, or whenever this mission does in fact launch. We will be there on the ground and bring it live to you, as well as, of course, coverage leading up to the launch itself. So poised to be a very busy week, all things being equal. So be sure to keep an eye on our social media feeds, principally Spaceflight Now's, as well as that of Adam and myself, as we will be hitting the road, heading out to Starbase to bring you the sights and sounds from the second launch of Starship, something that is very much anticipated by a lot of folks. SpaceX, obviously, NASA being another key watcher of this mission, as they need Starship for their human landing system on the Artemis 3 and 4 mission. Do want to quickly thank super chat that came in just a moment ago from Janine De La Sera, one of our channel members, with a $2 super chat donation. Thank you so much, Janine. Really appreciate that. Help support trips like the one we're doing out to Starbase to bring you on the ground coverage, as well as being able to do these live streams for you. So thank you so much for the support.